Has your get up and go gone up and went? Well, I've got the perfect recipe for you. Homemade ginger ale. It's so much better than the stuff that you can buy in the store, and astrologically, it's good for you too. That's because ginger is ruled by Mars and the sun. Now, Mars is great for ambition, assertion, and basically getting things done. The sun, however, is good for self-confidence, vitality, and really just being more you. Both of these things can help you get things done. Now, it's also a great drink for Virgo season, and that's because folklore has it that ginger is great for the digestion. And Virgo happens to rule the digestion because Virgo is a very picky, analytical sign that likes to break things down into its component parts, which is exactly what the digestion does. So today we're going to make some ginger ale, and you're going to be really surprised at how easy it is. The first thing that we do is we've got 3/4 of a cup of diced up ginger. And what we did to make the diced up ginger was we took the ginger root, we took a spoon, and we scraped the back of the ginger until we got all the skin peeled off of it. Then I sliced it and took a knife, ran the knife through the slices, and cut it down until we had this nice, almost pulpy looking dice going on. And you want a nice pulpy looking dice because the smaller the pieces, the more surface you have. And so then when we boil it, it'll get all of the juice out of the ginger. So the next thing we do is, since I have 3/4 of a cup of ginger, I have 1.5 cups of water. So the basic ratio that you have for making ginger water is 2:1 water to ginger. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this on high and pour my water into the pan. I'm going to go ahead and boil the water first and then put the ginger in second. That's going to take a minute, so we'll talk a little bit more about ginger. Now you may be wondering, why is ginger related to the sun and Mars? That's because you may not think about it, but ginger has a little bit of heat to it, and that heat resonates with those two planets. Both of those planets are hot and dry, and ginger is a hot and dry spice, so that's why there's a correlation there. So it looks like this is at a boil, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our ginger in. And I'm just going to use this to stir it up really quick. And we're going to let it boil for about 2 minutes. And there's my trusty timer. So one of the things you can do with ginger ale is you can use it to make a Shirley Temple. And Shirley Temples are very close to my heart. When I was a little kid, my Aunt Betty actually took me on like a dinner date, which was really cool because none of my aunts had ever taken me on a dinner date before. And she took me to this fancy restaurant and she was like, you can order whatever you want. You should get a mocktail. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll get a Shirley Temple. And I just thought that it was like the greatest thing ever to have this Shirley Temple and that somebody would buy me dinner and a drink. So Shirley Temples are very close to my heart, and we will be using some ginger ale to make a Shirley Temple in a later video. But today we're all about the ginger ale. And it looks like we're at about 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off, and I'm going to cover it because I don't want it to reduce too much. And I will see you in about 20 minutes. So it's been 20 minutes and our ginger water is looking pretty good. And so now it's time to strain it and add some agave. So I'm going to go ahead and put the strainer right here and pick this up. And we're just going to very carefully pour it into this pan. Strain out all the pulp. And now we have ginger water. Give it a good shake. Get some of that water out of there. I'll put that back. And now we're going to add some agave. So here we have about 1.5 cups of ginger water, which is pretty much the same as we started with. It didn't really reduce down any. And we're going to add in 1/2 cup of the agave syrup. I'm just going to go ahead and measure this out. And agave is ruled by Venus, most sweeteners are. And they're always good to add to a recipe because Venus energy is just some good mojo. It attracts, and it is beauty and love and all the good things. So we're going to add that in there. And unlike sugar, you don't need boiling water to dissolve it. It should dissolve fairly easily with just a good stir. So we'll go ahead and give it a good stir. And this is blue agave, which is dark, which is going to make your ginger kind of a different color than you're probably used to, but just as delicious. Now that that's all mixed up, we'll get to the last step before we put it in the refrigerator, which is putting it into a bottle. Now I've got a little funnel here to make life easy, keep it from spilling everywhere. And we're just going to pour that in. And there you go. This is your syrup basis for ginger ale. So let's go ahead and cap that. And we're going to go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator, and it needs to set for about 45 minutes to longer, depending on how cold you want it. So our ginger syrup has been sitting in the refrigerator for about an hour now, and it's pretty cold. And I've got a glass of ice and some club soda, and we're going to go ahead and finish off the ginger ale. So what we want to do is we want to take a half a cup of our ginger syrup. Actually, I'm going to start with a quarter of a cup and see how strong that is. And then I'm going to add club soda. Whoops. Which apparently got shaken up, so I'm going to slowly release it before I have a YouTube disaster. Okay, there we go. And we're going to just pour this in and fill up the glass. That looks pretty good. I do need a spoon to stir it up. I'm going to stir that together and try it out. It's really good. It tastes like real ginger. It's sweet, but not too sweet. And it's just really refreshing and delightful. You could use a little more ginger syrup in it. I think I'm going to add the other half, which would be, I added about a quarter of a cup, so this is going to be a half cup total. Stir it together. It's really good. Give it a try, homemade ginger ale.